Okay, this is a video to show you how to solve multiplication problems using the lattice method. So we started at, well, first of all, there's two algorithms that we teach on solving multi-digit multiplication problems. One is called partial products and the other one is called the lattice method. So we start by having a discussion about what lattice is. So when I look up lattice, I Google it, and these are all the pictures that came up. So we have a discussion about how lattice can be found with something growing on it like in a garden or the top part of your fence. It can even be a fancy top crust for a pie. And so we notice that those patterns are all very similar, kind of a crisscrossy pattern. And so when we do the lattice method, we're going to use a lattice of our own that's going to help us solve these multi-digit multiplication problems. So we're going to do a few problems here. The first one is a 2-digit by 1-digit multiplication problem, and you can see that my lattice here is 1, 2 by 1. Okay? So our lattice has to make sure it has to definitely match the size of the numbers in the problem that I'm doing. So this is a 2-digit by 1-digit. So my 2 digits go up here, 26 times 3. So I'm going to start by taking these kind of one square at a time. So this square right here, I've got to solve for by multiplying these two numbers, 3 times 6. 3 times 6, 18. Next, I'm going to do this square. 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Next, what I have to do is I have to add on the diagonal. So I'm going to use this. I've got a picture of an index card, and we use this to kind of help us line up the way that we're going to do our addition. So I'm going to start just like when I add any numbers, any multi-digit numbers. I'm going to start on the right. I don't start on the left. I start on the right, in case there's any carrying that has to happen. So I'm going to start right here with this 8. Now the 3 I did my multiplying with, so I don't need to do anything with that now. I'm just adding anything that's inside my lattice. Okay? The 8 is the only one there, so that comes down. There's my 8. Now I have to add 1 and 6, 7. And then over here I have a 0, which I don't have to write that because that's at the beginning of my number in the hundreds place in this case. So my answer is read this way, 78. 26 times 3, 78. Here's another one. This time, this is a 3-digit by 1-digit number. So you can see how my lattice has changed. 1, 2, 3 by 1. 532 times 5. Let's start with this square right here. 5 times 2, 10. This square right here, 5 times 3, 15. I go over here, 5 times 5, 25. I'm going to use my card if I need it, and I'm going to add on the diagonal. Okay. So I'm going to start on the right-hand side. I've got 0 and nothing else, so that comes down. Then I'm going to add 1 plus 5 is 6. I'm going to scoot my index card over. And I'm going to add 1 plus 5 is 6. Scoot it over again. Now I'm on my last number. There's just a 2 there, so the 2 comes down. So I read my number starting over here, 2,660. My answer is 2,660. I have one more I want to do because sometimes when you're adding, you have to carry. And how do you do that? So here's another problem. I'm going to go a little faster on this one because I just want to get to that point where I can show you how we do our carrying. So I've set up my problem, 579 times 7. This square here, 7 times 9, 63. We go here to this square. 7 times 7, 7 times 7, 49. This square here, 7 times 5, 35. Okay, I'm not going to use my card this time. I'm just going to go ahead and add my diagonals. I start with this one here. The 3 comes down all by itself. 6 plus 9, 15. Same way we always do it. 5 down. We carry the 1 to the next diagonal. 1 plus 4 plus 5 is 10. 0 down. Carry the 1 to my next diagonal. 1 and 3 is 4. 4,053 is my answer. And that's it. I have about half of my class that loves the lattice method, got half of my class that hates the lattice method, but as far as I'm concerned, if they can get the right answer using the lattice method or partial products, I'm good with that. The lattice method is really easy because when we're doing partial products, we have to remember that, like for example, when we're doing, I'll just look over here at my traditional way this problem is set up, 7 times 9, then I have to do 7 times 70. They have to remember that that's a 70. And then 7 times 500, they have to remember that and do those extended facts. You don't have to do that in the lattice method, which makes it good. However, when you are in 3rd grade and you decide you want to do the lattice method and you're given a problem like 318 times 2, you have to draw your own lattice, which can be tricky, to set it up neatly and in such a way that you'll be able to solve the problem and do it correctly. So for some kids, the lattice method is not so great because that setting up of the lattice can be tricky. So that is the lattice method for solving multiplication problems.